Hey guys, welcome to Nerdcast where we nerd out about various topics. Today we are going to discuss the Olympics and esports, and I have Pranit with me to discuss about the same. So basically 2 weeks back when I got this news, तो पहला मेरा step था, okay, this is an amazing step towards actually accepting the acceptance of
esports.
gaming as a actual category and actually a sporting event that can be made about it, because अभी तक जो भी esports के events होते थे, they have mostly been what like privately funded arenas, like Fortnite का world tournament है और CS:GO का जो tournament होता है, like so yeah, but none of them have been on a like Olympic type, कि एक अथॉरिटी फिगर जैसे ओलंपिक टाइप का फेडरेशन जो उसको होल्ड कर रहा हूँ. तो फर्स्ट न्यूज वाज दैट दिस फेल्ट रियली अमेजिंग. बट देन ऑन द अदर हैंड व्हेन आई सॉ द गेम दैट वर अ पार्ट ऑफ इट, मेरा सर एकदम घूम गया बिकॉज दिस जस्ट डजंट मेक सेंस एट ऑल. I'll actually share my screen and show you the game and let us discuss them. But my entire point is that like क्या चल रहा है ये एंड लाइक व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन इन द बैक ऑफ दी पीपल, लाइक जिन्होंने डिसीजन लिया लाइक कि कौन से साल में बैठे हैं अभी. तो लेट मी शेयर माय स्क्रीन. या इज माय स्क्रीन विजिबल?
Yes.
या तो बेसिकली 9 स्पोर्ट्स इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं लोग. बट द पॉइंट इज कि इफ यू लुक एट द गेम, so these are what archery, baseball, chess, cycling, dance, motorsport, sailing, tennis and taekwondo. Basically what they have done is जो actual sport events होते हैं उनका like
Digital
real life
version.
equivalent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
virtual
digital version.
equivalent.
And this really doesn't make sense because esports are like तुम्हारे जो games होते हैं, तो for example CS:GO or something like
Rocket
which are like
League.
the Rocket League, or so these can be what like these are what are like competitive games that are made specifically for people on like their devices. It's not like a version of something that exists in real life, or of a sport that exists in real life, right?
Yeah.
So like let me show you the example. So पहला archery का example है. So this is the game that they are using for archery, which is basically an Android game that lets you just shoot darts. So this just doesn't make sense because इसमें तो पहली बात तो there's no sort of like talent that is required in terms of esports level of talent, right? It
Okay,
just
so
विंड का डेटा दे दिया कि तुमको विंड किस डायरेक्शन पे आ रही है, एंड देन यू जस्ट लुक एट एंड देन तुम ड्रॉप सोच के एंड देन यू जस्ट shoot at that, like just you have to just pinpoint at where you want to shoot.
see, all I'm saying is like mobile games cannot become esports, okay? This is
Yeah.
my opinion, okay? This is my opinion. I'm not targeting any audience of like, see, there is a one more example of mobile esports, which is Clash of Clans.
Yeah.
We call it RTS, which is real time strategy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What Clash of Clans does is like you have to make strategy. There are wars and all that stuff. I have watched their esports as well. You have to make a strategy on the same day or the same time, or you have to make your attack 3-star and all that. Like 5 persons are sitting on the left and right, and they both compete for 3-star attacks. So out of 15, which team gets the most destruction and the most stars wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and this app is not even rated like more than 4, right? Like it's 2.3 rating.
So it basically game that literally just launched now. Like it has only 5,000 downloads.
Yeah, and see, when it comes to esports, I think like just you said Counter-Strike. Okay, Counter-Strike is very popular when it comes to esports. Okay, their numbers just jump like crazy when the events are happening and all that. But the acceptance of that, because Counter-Strike has name Counter-Terrorist and Terrorists.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they have some problems with sponsors as well.
No, it's like I don't think that they have a problem with that. I think that they just thought कि esports में वही sports होंगे जो sports उनके already एक Olympic list में होते हैं.
Olympic games, like a real life game. See, I can
Yeah, real life game.
understand chess and all that, but I think
So yeah,
these
so chess,
games
that's the point.
these
But
games are
मेरा
not
point ये है
acceptable,
कि
right?
नहीं, but okay, I have another point. चेस ऑनलाइन और चेस ऑफलाइन में क्या फर्क है?
आई थिंक प्रेशर कि
नो मतलब
सामने
मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि
पे-
जो ऑफलाइन चेस में जीतेगा, isn't that person going to be the one who wins at online chess? मतलब लास्ट, मतलब चेस कोविड हुआ था जब, तो जो चेस का जो ओलंपियाड हुआ था वो 2 साल तो ऑनलाइन हुआ था, राइट?
या
तो एंड दोज हैड द सेम टीम्स, राइट? सेम
या
मतलब इंडिया की जो टीम थी। तो जब चेस का जो ई स्पोर्ट इवेंट होगा, दैट वुड एक्चुअली बी द सेम ई स्पोर्ट इवेंट, आई गेस।
या पॉसिबल।
सेम सेम कंट्रीज, वही लोग जाएंगे ना, लाइक अभी अपने इंडिया से कौन जाएगा? वही जाएंगे। विदित गुजराती, तानिया सचदेव, वही वही टीम तो जाएगी जो इसमें जाती है, लाइक एक्चुअल चेस इवेंट में।
या
देयर इज नो डिफरेंस, राइट? एंड सेम फॉर दिस रियली वियर्ड सॉर्ट ऑफ साइकिलिंग ई स्पोर्ट,
yeah,
जिसमें
it's
बेसिकली
just
यू आर साइकिलिंग ऑन अ लेजिट लाइक साइकिलिंग मशीन।
it's like actual simulation, right?
या बट माय पॉइंट इज कि उसमें जीतेगा वही ना हु इज अ साइक्लिस्ट। मतलब आई एम
Yeah.
जस्ट श्योर कि बंदा आएगा, रेगुलर इवेंट पे जाएगा, वही फिर इधर आएगा और इसमें भी गोल्ड मेडल जीत के आ जाएगा।
See, first let me explain you why he is very pissed at it, because esports is a very different thing and it simulation cannot be a part of esports, okay?
बट ओके, या सिमुलेशन गेम कैनॉट बी, it can be actually in some way. So for example, if I'll give racing esports ho gaya, because it has a whole community of its own. But the point is that even in that, if you look at any of the major competitions that happen all over the world, like racing ke competition, so they happen on simulation centric game. So for example, we have iRacing, we have Automobilista, we have F122, and we have what, like these are the major ones, right, on
Yeah.
the market that are specifically catered to simulation audiences, with the simulation rig and everything. But उन्होंने डाला Gran Turismo, which is a PlayStation game
Yeah,
of,
you can play it on controller.
yes, simulation, but it's more of a simcade, like simulation and
Yeah,
arcade racing. It's
yeah,
not a full-fledged simulation. It's like Forza Horizon, but on whatever, not
controller.
Forza Horizon. It's like Forza Motorsport, but on PlayStation, right? It's
Yeah.
not a full-fledged where you are actually changing the camber of the car. You're changing the actual details of the car that actually like affect the physics, right?
See, what I'm gonna explain to you right now, it's like what is esports? Like why esports player you see are paid the big bucks. In specifically Counter-Strike or Rocket League, your mechanics or your what do you call it? How your mechanics are strong. Like in Counter-Strike, there is a thing called movement, like bunny hopping. Okay, so those who are very mechanically strong, those like they can do that. In Rocket League, like you have like ceiling shots and all that shots, like you have to boost, when to use the boost, like all that stuff. It is like your brain should think what the other person is gonna do, as well
Yeah,
as what are you going to do to counter them, as well
counter
as what
everything.
is your
Yeah,
strategy.
yeah,
So there are layers on layers for
yeah,
esports. This is I'm talking
yeah.
about basically Rocket League and Counter Strike. Okay,
Counter Strike,
Dota
and I
is
think
like
that it's the
another
same.
level.
Yeah, same. I would say goes for even for racing simulations, where like as a racing simulator myself, like मैं अपने घर पे जब खेलता हूँ, तो it's like there's a lot of things that also, like तुम्हारा competition कैसा, like when they are trying to overtake, how your strategy is to not like let them overtake, how your pit stop that strategy is for changing the tires of the tire, in like it basically the real like virtual version of the real sporting event that happen. So that's also understandable. But having games like the cycling और वर्चुअल टाइक्वांडो में क्या है कि द गेम हैज लाइक एक्सबॉक्स कनेक्ट जो एक्सबॉक्स 360 में जो आता था फॉर वर्चुअल गेमिंग, राइट? तो वो तुम्हारे लाइक डिवाइस के साथ कनेक्ट होता है, एंड देन यू बेसिकली डू योर मूव्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ इट एंड इट विल गिव यू पॉइंट. हाउ इज दैट even a logical way to have an e-sport title on
I
that,
think they
like?
should have picked the esports which are like the top ones, right? Like based
Yeah,
on the views or based on the player base or
popularity, because
the popularity.
the popularity is also needed because the point is that Olympics are what? तुम्हारे जो sport which are played by millions of the people, you are in that top, like you're तुम अपनी country को represent कर रहे हो in that like sport, and then you're winning the medal, right?
Yeah.
In terms of popularity, अगर वो बहुत ज्यादा होगा तभी तो you'll find that talent that will be there at the top, right? अगर वो game ही 10,000 लोग खेल रहे होंगे तो how are you going to find the talent from
See,
that
I
game, right?
think CS is now Counter Strike is now going to get ported into the Source 2 engine. Okay, everybody has a very high hopes for it. I think they should, in the lore of Counter Strike, the CT side or counter-terrorist side has a name of Coalition Task Force,
Hmm.
and the terrorist side has a name of the Phoenix. If they change
Hmm.
that, then they don't
Yeah.
have they don't have to worry about the sponsor and all that
Yeah.
stuff, or like terrorism getting promoted and all that stuff,
Hmm.
right? So if
Yeah.
they do that, that's good. But I think they should have picked Rocket League here, because Rocket
Yeah.
League has
Rocket League हो
nothing,
सकता था.
just
Yeah.
red team, blue team.
Yeah. Yeah. Even Dota could have been a good option.
Yeah, Dota could have been a very good option, but like Dota is a very complex sport, and I
Yeah.
think Olympics is basically Indians or same nationalities or competing.
Yeah.
In esports, it's like multiple nationalities in the same team, right? Like some French people are there, some Danish people are in the one
But
team.
Olympic esports में तो it's like countries representing, like
Exactly,
countries की
exactly.
team
But
बनेगी, right? Yeah.
see, the thing is like countries representing, but most of the teams in the esports are like not.
या तो वो टीम नहीं चलेगी.
हाँ,
It's
exactly.
basically वो it's like World Cup versus IPL, right?
Yeah, exactly. But why
Like वो
the
अलग अलग क्लब
problem
ना होके it's
comes
like
here like people from French, right? They have to pick the five best French players in CS and they
yeah.
have to adjust that. And in CS sometimes it is like that because the right now the era which is CS is going through, there are multiple international teams.
Hmm.
I mean there are teams which are like promote like Ukraine has Navi, right?
Hmm.
But the team vitality in Counter Strike right now has three French people and no, sorry, two French people, two Danish, and one other nationality. I don't remember.
Hmm.
So this is going to be
I
the
think this will
clash.
be, yeah, but the point is that it will also push countries towards actually, promoting esports in their own country.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you have like, national team अगर तुमको बनानी है, Olympic Federation ने अगर बोला है कि there's a national team that is needed for Counter Strike.
Mm.
So, even if in India, तो the Olympic Federation in India जो भी committee है जो इंडिया की जो भी होगी, they will also try to push for events across the country to find out the talent in that sport, right?
Yeah.
Like in that
See, I
game.
think what I'm telling right now is esports is very big outside India.
It
India
is. It of course is. Yeah.
India doesn't have a taste of it because we are way too much behind because of like
It's
gaming.
morely
Mobile gaming is
the
very generalized and PC gaming is
we
less.
are we do not have the resources for it, for to
Yeah,
be honest.
you can
Like
say that
yeah,
as well.
अभी cricket और football चलता है because like very less resources, right? It just need a bat and a ball or just a football basically. Football तो सबसे cheapest sport है, right?
Mm.
But for gaming you need like resources, and वो भी individual resources. Everyone needs that. So it's going to take a lot of time when all of these like uh, tech become commoditized and you get like computers for
But
extremely
I
cheap.
think
And
in also I would like to mention Rainbow Six Siege, which is developed by Ubisoft. I think they could have picked that as well because the game is very tactical. You
yeah,
have to use drones and all that stuff, and they don't have any problems like Counter Strike. There is
yeah,
attackers and there are
mm,
defenders. That's it.
yeah,
I think they could have done something like that, but same the nationality problem. Like they cannot
yeah,
make the same like five
same
Indians in
thing.
one team
Yeah,
or like five Americans in one team.
yeah. And even if in terms of racing, I could understand the concerns about it not being iRacing or automobilista because, for example, iRacing है. So I could never get into it because अगर मुझे घुसना है तो I'll have to पहले pay for the membership of iRacing, like pay for the game, and then I'll have to pay for specifically for the track that I want to play in and specifically for the cars that I want to run. So like one of the YouTubers that I follow, they actually had to pay around $450 to play the game, which is a
Okay.
lot for a game, like
Yeah.
obviously. But the point is that because the racing game needs a lot of investment, right?
Yeah.
अब हर कार के पीछे you are putting a microphone and then you're making it run around, recording their voices. Then specifically for each track you're doing laser mapping of each and every track. So yeah, it needs a lot of resources. तो वो सारा resources किसके पास जाएगा? Like we are the ones who have to pay for it. But then on the other hand, we can it not go for that arcade of a game like Gran Turismo, but we could have had like F122, like a Formula 122 kind of a thing, which could have been like a good middle ground, which is because it's well funded, so वो थोड़ा cheap हो जाता है. And obviously for esports you don't need DLCs, right?
Yeah.
So they could have had a DLC, like not DLC, like they could have had a esport of that specific rather than Gran Turismo, which just became very. RKD.
I think
So
racing communities are like the racing esports I'm talking about is very less in numbers as compared to the competitive shooters as well as like Rocket
yeah,
League and all
it
that
is.
stuff,
Yeah,
right?
and
So
it is,
maybe
and there are a lot of reasons behind it. Like one of them being that there is no, for example, competitive shooter. So CS:GO is like what, free of cost right now, right?
yeah,
So
but
that's the
but
point.
it's still
Racing
it's
needs a
like
lot of
a
investment.
it's like a barrier. Like it is free to play, but if you don't want cheaters or if you don't want like you want drops from the game,
Yeah, it's
like you
still,
have to
but the point
pay
is,
$10, right?
but still, it's like comparatively. For example, if I want to play for any e-sport event, अगर मुझे अभी participate भी करना है, I
Mm-hmm.
have to spend around 25,000 on a steering wheel and a pedal setup
Yeah, okay. So the simulation game, right?
simulation, because obviously racing e-sport need that investment, right?
I
And वो
think in
investment आते ही
gaming,
then it becomes
I
a
think
lot,
in
right?
gaming, like you have to invest something, right? Like you're talking about the racing. Let's say Counter Strike, right? You need to invest in the in-ears first.
Yeah,
Second, mouse pad, keyboard.
yeah, yeah.
Then there are other stuff like audio
But the
enhancers and
point
all.
is, for example, for someone to get amazing at computer, like Counter Strike, एंड वो 10 साल का बच्चा भी अगर शुरू कर रहा है दे वोंट नीड लाइक वो 100 रुपए का माउस और 100 रुपए के कीबोर्ड पे खेलना तो शुरू कर सकता है
Yeah,
लाइक दैट्स
exactly.
द पॉइंट वेयर योर मसल मेमोरी स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग तो फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाई एम आई गुड एट प्लेइंग एनी गेम राइट नाउ अगर मैं कोई भी गेम खेल रहा हूँ जस्ट बिकॉज कि एट द एज ऑफ 12 13 when I started gaming like I had access to the game I had like when I had the time to give to it and वो मसल मेमोरी मेरी बनती गई तो now I can play any racing game like with थोड़ा ease like it doesn't take a long time for me to get into the game बट मैंने कंट्रोलर तक ही खेला तो यस नाउ मेरे को मसल मेमोरी बनाने में टाइम लग रहा है विद चेयरिंग में बट विद लाइक द पॉइंट इज द बैरियर टू एंट्री 200 रुपीज में 100 रुपए का माउस 100 रुपए का कीबोर्ड लगाया पीसी पे एंड देन आई कैन स्टार्ट प्लेइंग CS:GO
See, but
फॉर अ
the
रेसिंग पर्सन इट्स अ लॉट
see
मोर इन्वेस्टमेंट
see
लाइक
I
टू
know
स्टार्ट
you're yeah, exactly. I know what you're talking about, but when you are competing on a esports level,
या आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट बट
you
आई एम जस्ट
need
सेइंग
top gear, okay? Like
या
starting is okay, but you in the end you have to shift on a 50
या
euros or
बट
$50 mouse,
या
right?
ऑफ कोर्स बट मेरा सिंपल सा पॉइंट है कि मैं फुटबॉल खेलना शुरू करूंगा तो आई विल जस्ट प्ले विद माय रेगुलर शूज एंड देन आई विल इन्वेस्ट फॉर चलो अभी 1,000 रुपए
Yes.
के फुटबॉल शूज लूं
Mm,
then when I just become more of a professional then I'll start investing more into more expensive shoes and better
mm,
footballs and all of that, right?
yeah.
You don't start with the best gear at the start, right? But मेरा वही
Yeah.
point है कि you still have those, so I can actually start playing without any investment, right? फुटबॉल
Mm,
खेलना हो तो
yeah.
like ग्राउंड पे क्या जो जूते पहने हैं जो नंगे पैर ही खेल दिए
Mm-hmm.
बट आई कांट डू दैट विद रेसिंग तो रेसिंग का एक अलग ही पूरा डिस्कशन है बिकॉज
Yeah.
and also another major thing that happened a while back in the like if we are talking about esports as a whole so basically there was this world like championship like Le Mans Cup which was an esport event which also had Max Verstappen which is the current Formula 1 world champion also as a participant and they had
Mm.
like trained for months एंड गेम के बीच में 3 बारी उसके अंदर वो हुआ व्हाट इज दैट कॉल्ड या तो 3 बारी डीडोस अटैक के कारण वो सर्वर डाउन हुआ जस्ट बिकॉज उस गेम के आईपी एड्रेसेस सबके पास एक्सेस था
Public. Oh no.
दैट वाज कंप्लीट एंड दिस हैड बीन अ प्रॉब्लम विद दैट गेम फॉर इयर्स लाइक so yes there's a lot of issue going on so
See,
racing esport में there are a lot of issues right now
see
and
these
considering the
issues.
Formula 1 world champion but he really did the thing he told that जब तक ये गेम पे होगा तब तक मैं कभी किसी sport में आ ही नहीं रहा
See, the
like
thing
that's the
is,
level of
wait,
this thing he
wait.
did
The thing here is basically you need to understand like online playing esports and on LAN playing esports are two
hmm.
different, very different concepts.
Yeah.
If they played it on online, then yeah, the IP and all that may be
Hmm.
leaked or maybe not. I don't know about that. What you're talking.
it was leaked and वही
Yeah.
हुआ था
So
but the point is कि क्यों हुआ because the community छोटी है रेसिंग स्पोर्ट्स की तो उतना डेवलपमेंट नहीं किया ना लाइक उतना पैसा नहीं आया बट काउंटर स्ट्राइक की लाइक ई स्पोर्ट कम्युनिटी हो गया इन सब पे एंटी चीट पे कितना पैसा आता है बिकॉज देर आर स्पॉन्सर्स हु आर स्पॉन्सरिंग मेजर इवेंट्स लाइक इंटरनेशनल इवेंट रॉकेट लीग हो गया एंड डोटा हो गया इनके इवेंट स्पॉन्सर होते हैं तो दैट्स व्हाई इनके ये सारी चीजें पे कवर कंट्रोल रहता है लाइक दे हैव अ ह्यूज बैकएंड फॉर सिक्योरिटी एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट
Yeah.
वो सेम इन्वेस्टमेंट वाली चीज है, which is another conversation about racing. तो
See, what I was trying to say is like like CS and all that, maybe ये starting of the scene में होते थे DDoS attack and all that.
yeah,
Like जब
exactly.
when it shifted to the online era, right?
हम्म,
When it shifted to online era, it used to
बट
happen.
वो 10
Okay,
साल
like
पहले होता था. The
no,
point is ये अभी
online
भी
era
है.
is I'm talking about the COVID one. Okay,
अच्छा, ओके.
the COVID one.
ओके,
Okay,
उसमें भी शुरू हुआ
like
था. ओके.
yeah, huh. So what used to happen is sometimes the servers get DDoS and all that stuff. That happened in online, but on LAN there is like zero
या
possibility.
फिर जीरो
Zero
पॉसिबिलिटी है.
possibility. There is no
या.
way that is happening on LAN. There are technical difficulties on LAN, but like
बट या.
DDoS and all that stuff, that cannot happen. Like
या.
it is impossible.
तो बेसिकली इन द पॉइंट मेरा मतलब इन द एंड मेरा यही कंक्लूजन हमारा यही आ रहा है कि द गेम दैट आर अ पार्ट ऑफ द ओलंपिक ई स्पोर्ट्स आर जस्ट कंप्लीटली वर्थलेस राइट नाउ,
Yeah.
एंड दे रियली नीड टू चेंज द डायरेक्शन ऑफ वेयर थिंग्स आर गोइंग, इन
I
माय
think they
ओपिनियन.
need to reconsider the games first and then they have to, jump
I
on.
yeah, I don't think they can reconsider for this year because already tender launch करके they have already agreed to those companies, right? Contracts
Yeah.
already release हो गए हैं. But for the next like 4 साल है अभी. IOC can
Yeah.
think about actually.
And I don't want mobile games to be like included in Olympics. Okay, like you can get games like COC or Clash Royale, like they are like a strategy game. You can like on the spot thinking and
There's
all
League
that.
of Legends also, yeah.
Yeah, you can League of Legends, Dota, and see these are like very different sets of game we are talking about. Also shooters, then
Yeah.
Dota and all that. They are like each one is a very different category. Rocket League is very different. Like it's football
Yeah.
with cars.
Yeah. What I think they should do is they should look at the popularity of the game and then have those games part of it. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind like Fortnite being a part of it, even if it's like
Yeah,
there.
see, the
I
problem
wouldn't
with
mind that.
battle royale games is like it
How would
it
you rate
cannot
the
become esports, right? Like in 5v5 shooters, always there is a winner and there is a loser. Okay,
there's a
there are
loser,
two
right? Yeah.
sides. In like 100 people, like there is one winner and there are 99
Mm,
losers. So
yeah.
and the esports things of battle royale, I watched some PUBGs and all that, the international
Mm,
tournament that used to happen. I
yeah.
think they were based on points and survival. Like
Yeah.
nobody plays like flash, like nobody is trying to do some flashy plays, right? Everybody is
Yeah.
playing for points, so everybody is
Mm,
just hiding in places. In
mm,
Counter Strike, that is different. You play
yeah.
for each round and each
Mm,
map, so
each
there
map.
are
Yeah.
layers to it. So
Yeah.
everybody can try some flashy things,
Mm,
do something new that people
yeah.
won't understand. Hey, I'm hiding here, or
Yeah.
I'm doing this smoke, and I'm waiting for the
Yeah.
person
They're
to,
like
walk.
innovative
Yeah,
strategies that
innovative
are a part
thinking.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think that marked the end of our conversation.
yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next episode.